Hey, good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're going to take a look at this ARDROIT 30 amp lithium iron phosphate battery charger. This was sent out to me by the people at ARDROIT to take a look at and do a review on it, and that's what we're going to do. So like I said, this is a 30 amp charger, which a lot of you have been asking me about chargers over the past few months. I originally started with a little 10 amp charger that was designed for lithium batteries. All of these have the profile to charge lithium. It has a input voltage of 100 to 240 volts on this particular unit. It uses constant charging volt of 14.6, which is perfect for the lithium profile. A constant charging current of 30 amps, weighs in at about 3.5 pounds, and it's got a pretty nice solid feel to it. Metal case. On the back, you've got a little red toggle switch that you can set it for either 110 volts or 220 volts. It came preset on the 110, and that's what we're going to use it for in the demonstration today. But if you wanted to switch that over to 220, you just need a little teeny screwdriver like this, and you push this little toggle switch over like that. And it didn't quite go all the way over, but right there. And then it snapped into the 220 volt there if you needed that for your application. We know we need 110 volt for what we're going to do. So I'm going to push it back over. Just a little bit of a toggle there, a slide switch. It does take a little teeny screwdriver or something like that to push it over. It's got a built-in fan here, built-in cooling fan. And then the back, this is for the plug that you would plug in for power. This snaps in here, like so. It plugs in nice and deep. Very solid feel. There's no looseness to it whatsoever. And then you, of course, would plug it into whatever power source you're going to be using for this. So yeah, real snug fit there. That's good. So that's what the back looks like. The fan, the toggle switch, and the receptacle for your power cord. On the sides, there's nothing remarkable. As you can see. And on the bottom, just a nice flat surface. On, I guess, what we'll call the front side, you've got a couple of operating LED lights. It uses a red light for charging and a green light to indicate when you're full on the battery. The cable comes off the front. It's attached to a couple of alligator clips to clip onto your battery. The charging modes that this thing operates under, it has 3 different stages. Constant current, which we know is going to be 30 amps, constant voltage, 14.6, and a trickle charge. So constant current, constant voltage, and a trickle charge. And I'm assuming that trickle will be as it's absorbing at the end of its charge. And we're going to see what that looks like. It does say that this charger is designed specifically for the lithium iron phosphate profile. So that's what you want for your lithium batteries, is a lithium battery charger. Some of the other chargers out there would not have that type of specifications, but for your lithium batteries, you want to make sure you're using a lithium charger. Today, this is being listed for $140 on Amazon. I see that today they have a $10 coupon that you can check, and you'll get $10 off. So $130 is what this unit's going for as of today. And for today's demonstration, we're going to hook it up to this Chin's 12.8 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate. This is their low temperature heating unit. Smart battery. It has a Bluetooth app that we're going to be able to use. We'll show you the state of charge. This battery is not completely depleted, but it could use a good charge, and it'll be good for the demonstration today. So we're going to tie it up right now and look at the parameters off the app and see what we start with and start running this charger. Okay, we've got it all plugged in. We've got the generator running. We're running the Honda 2000 watt inverter series, and that's what we're going to plug this into, and we're going to do it right now. And we should see one red indicator light for the fact that it's on. Well, it's showing a green light. I might be mistaken on that. I'll have to go back and look, but I thought it was one red for on. There it is. It just took it a minute to reset. Okay, and now I'm going to put these alligator clamps onto that Chin's 100 amp hour right here. And it should go to 2. They snap on nice and tight. Okay, so now it's running. Got both red LEDs are on. They are red. One's a little brighter. One has a little more of a dull covering. This has actually a clear lens. This one has a little, what would you call it, a frosted lens. And that's the only difference, but they both look red. They're both on, both charging as they're supposed to. And we're going to go to the BMS app. And we can see that that battery is at a 67% charge. That's exactly what it was. I did test it before I hooked this up, so it hasn't jumped up yet. Voltage 13.48. That did jump up, of course, since I put the battery clips on it. And it is showing right there 28.6 amps. So 28.6 coming in off the 30 amp charger. And I don't think that that's unusual. I know even with my other chargers, I never actually ever see complete full output from these things. So this seems to be working absolutely fine. 28.5 amps coming in. And it's just jumped up to a 13.5 voltage. So there we go. Just gonna feel these. Pretty warm, actually. Pretty warm. Both of them. The negative not so much. The positive pretty warm. A little hot to the touch there. The fan is running constantly. That's not unusual. I'm going to keep a little bit of an eye on these alligator clips. Yeah, that one feels a little hot. And this one just warm to the touch. Just warm. The positive is definitely hotter. If it got much hotter, I would be concerned about this silicone seal, that these little M8 terminals on these batteries are. They have a little silicone seal around them. Yeah, that's pretty hot right there. I'll keep an eye on it. So we know I've got about a 30% charge to top this thing off, so I'd be looking at about 3 hours. I'm going to let it go, see what happens, and watch how the voltage changes. 28.4 amps coming in right now. And after just running this for a couple minutes now, you know, it's gone from 67 up to 70%. Battery voltage 13.51. It is a 100 amp hour capacity battery. So that's one thing I really like about the smart batteries these days. You know, you can monitor the state of health with it with an app. On the charger itself, you're just gonna, unless you were using a multimeter, there's no Bluetooth app with this, but it's just LED lights for indicating what state of charge you're in. So we know we're in full charge right now, and 28.3 steady amps coming in. So I just checked again. The voltage and the current are remaining constant. And I wanted to say one thing too about this little rubber insulator over these alligator clips. That is protecting, you know, quite a bit of the heat. You know, if I just hold the sides of those, they're just a little warm. Not too bad at all, but I was touching the actual metal and on the lug there. A little hot. I don't think it's concerning. These little insulators seem to be doing the trick. Not too bad there. Just thought I would mention that too. We'll keep a close eye on it. I caught myself in an error. I just wanted to say, I was saying I thought this would take 3 hours. I had in my head that this was a 10 amp charger. For some reason in my calculations, this is a 30 amp charger. So really, to get that last 30%, probably only was looking at about an hour. It's been running just over 20 minutes, and if I go back to the battery app, you can see I'm at 81% after 20 minutes. So yeah, I meant 1 hour. Sorry for that, but now if it was a 10 amp charger, yeah, I've been looking at 3 hours. Thing runs quite warm. The fan runs constantly, like I said. The housing is hot to the touch, about as hot as those alligator clips are. Everything's working fine. Still got 28.3 amps coming in. We're at 81% full. It won't take as long as I thought. I just wanted to clarify that before I forgot. Yeah, while I'm waiting for this to finish up, I'll just go over a few of the other specifications about this that I missed earlier. So it does have an overcharge protection built into this, an over discharge protection, over voltage protection, over current protection, over power protection, over temperature protection, short circuit protection, overload protection, low voltage protection, and anti-reverse connection. So it's got a lot of built-in precautions to it. So if it reached any of those protection devices, it would, I'm sure, shut off. But it's running smooth, running fine, and it is showing a very, very constant current and very constant voltage. So it's working as it should. I haven't used alligator clips myself in a long time. The other charger I use, I just have bolt-on ring terminals. They actually go to a bus bar on a different system. So it's been a while since I've used these. They're just a little warmer than I remembered, but they're doing fine. The top of the battery is absolutely cool. There's no problem. There's no heat being dissipated anywhere around it. It's just right there on that top M8 terminal bolt. But like I said, everything else is doing just fine. But yeah, it's doing just exactly as it should. 14.6 volts at 28.3 amps. So that's right within its specifications. One other thing I'll mention is that on all these little chargers that I have used, they all do run a little hot to the touch. Even that Victron that I use gets very, very hot. Doesn't seem to be a problem. Like I said, this has built-in overheating protection to where if it was too hot, it would shut off. But yeah, it's very warm to the touch, but every charger I've used does that, so I don't see anything to be concerned about. Interestingly enough, the right side is quite a bit warmer than the left side, so it's doing pretty good. 85% charge, 28.4 amps coming in. Okay, this is worth mentioning. It's just gone up to 92%. I noticed the fan idled down just a little bit, not running quite as warm at 92%, and the current has dropped down to 28 amps. So it's starting to slowly back off on the current as it approaches that full charge. So right at 91, 92%, I could hear a little bit different fan speed going on. It's self-regulated. Got, as you can see, 28, now 27.9, 28, but it's starting to drop as we're getting into the 90th percentile. I expect that's going to continue. We'll watch it. Okay, 100% full. The app is reading it at 13.63 volts, which is not where I want to be at 100% full, so I think there's a little error in this app. It's still showing 28.4 amps coming in, and the charger is still charging, but at 100% full, this voltage should be going up. It's not the charger. The charger's working fine. I've got an error in the app. I'm positive, because right down here I've got the multimeter on it right now. It's reading at 13.96 and going up pretty quick, like lithium does on a full charge. This is very accurate. So you can see, as in a lot of things, I'm getting the discrepancy between the multimeter and this Bluetooth app for the battery itself. It's not 13.63, it's 13.96, and that's a big difference on topping off these batteries. So that's accurate. The charger should still be running, and it is. 28 amps. So it's cooled down a teeny bit, still running warm, but this battery is just now topping off. So we're going to watch it here, continue to watch it. This thing should click over into its trickle mode here pretty quick. I'm going to be real interested to see at what voltage that happens. I've used another smaller 10 amp charger before, and when the battery reached a 14.2, 14.25, right in there, the charger itself quit. So at 13.96, this charger is still going, which is what I would want it to do. So hopefully around those 14.2, somewhere in there, it should all kick over and start to do the trickle charge. So that's what we're waiting for. I'm actually good that I've got this discrepancy. It's a good thing to point out that depending on what kind of a monitoring device you're using, this Bluetooth app actually is not reading accurately for whatever reason. It's just too far off for my liking. So always good to use your multimeter to verify various apps or devices you might be using. Have something that really gives you a very accurate read on what's going on. 13.96. Battery is, for all intents and purposes, it's full, but we're going to take it up. I want to make sure that this charger does kick off and see where it does kick off. So just wanted to point that out. Like, this just jumped up to 13.64, but this thing's running a little bit off. I closed the app out, reopened it to see if that would change. It didn't change. So I might end up going for a different app than this one. I'd like it to be more accurate than it is. But that's the app. It's no fault of the charger, no fault of the battery. But I wanted to verify it, and when I saw that it wasn't going up where it should be for the state of charge, that's when I brought out the multimeter. Okay, we're getting very, very close. One other thing I wanted to mention, that this charger is recommended for batteries 60 amp hours or larger. So if you have one of those small lithium iron phosphate batteries smaller than 60 amp hours, not recommended to use this charger. 60 amp hours or larger. So here the app is reading 13.93. The amperage is now down to 21.3 amps going in, so it's going down. 13.94 on the app reading, 14.1 on the multimeter. So still a little discrepancy, not a huge discrepancy now. 13.95 on the app. So I'm expecting this charger to shut off here pretty darn quick. And there we go. We have the green light just now kicked on. The multimeter is reading the battery at 14.4. The app is reading it at 14.25. It's now allowing 11.5 amps in, so it has dropped way off. The cells are all at 3.5. 3.5 all the way across, 3.52 to 3.56 depending. And there it is. The green light is on. It's fully charged. The charger turned off. The fan is off. It is cool to the touch within seconds after it turning off. Battery voltage 14.1 and dropping. 14.1 and dropping. Interestingly enough, these two separate monitoring systems pretty much equaled each other out. They were both reading basically exactly the same towards the very end of the charge. That's what you're waiting for, is that solid green light. For just the last minute or two, it was a green and red light as the amperage dropped down to absolute zero, and that's it. That's a 100% full lithium iron phosphate battery. Great shape. The entire case stayed cool. Like I said, the only thing that I noticed, and now those, of course, the alligator clips are cool to the touch as well. So that's the review for this ARDROIT 30 amp lithium iron phosphate charger. It did as advertised in every aspect. So I like it. It works well. Now I got to go turn the generator off. Hope you guys got something out of this. It was a kind of a fun project. Thanks to those at ARDROIT that sent this out for a review. Yeah, I like it. 130 bucks today on Amazon if you use that $10 discount that they're offering. Otherwise it's 140. Pretty reasonable for a 30 amp lithium charger. Yeah. Aloha everybody. Thanks for tuning in. That was kind of fun.